Hi everyone, welcome back. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about what's been going on with my food tapping. After we tapped the last time, I had a couple interesting thoughts, I guess. Actually, I woke up with it this morning. And so apparently the tapping that I did yesterday had a positive effect. And the words that were rumbling around in my brain about why in the world I'm having this issue about eating, particularly the one when I first get home from work, was the words, there isn't enough. Now, it didn't initially go to there isn't enough food, which is what I had been tapping on. What it was there isn't enough time. There isn't enough of me to go around. There isn't enough free time to do the things I want to do because of work. There isn't time to actually do my best work because of some of the restrictions that are put on me. And then that kind of morphed into there isn't enough food. Which is very closely related for me with there isn't enough pleasure. And so I thought that was a pretty good insight in response to the being open to understanding more about all of this. So how did that new insight that started this morning affect the way that I used food today? Well, I was aware of it when I was packing my lunch. And so like last time, I was pretty careful about what I put in my lunch. I still did a salad, had with lots of veggies, had chicken, had carrots for a snack, and some fruit for a snack. And I always have pumpkin seeds in my desk, and I did actually have a few of those during the morning. So there was not a huge binge on unhealthy food, but I did notice that as the time pressure of my day increased, so did my desire to stuff food in my mouth. So now I'm sitting here talking to you. I've just gotten home from work. In fact, the only thing I did between walking in the door and turning on my computer was to give my dogs a treat and say hi to them. So this is usually my biggest danger time with food. Now, like last time, I'm very much aware of the food in my pantry. I am in the back of my mind already starting to think about supper, but the reality is I eat supper very early because I eat breakfast very early. I'm within 45 minutes of my usual supper time, so it's not terribly alarming that I'm thinking about food already, but I wish I wasn't. So I thought that tapping today, I would start with there isn't enough and see where that goes. I'm not going to start right on there isn't enough food because I really don't believe that's the core issue. I think the food is just another aspect to this bigger feeling that there isn't enough. So if you're going to tap along, please be responsible for your own health and well-being. If it gets to be too much or if issues come up that are uncomfortable, feel free to stop and just listen in. And I urge you to check out the disclaimer on my website, drleannamanuel.com. There's also some videos on there about how to get started with tapping. There's tapping charts, but I think you'll see enough of it in this video, even if you haven't done any tapping with me before, that you'll know exactly what to do. All right. So I'm going to start with tapping on my karate chop point. Even though I have this strong feeling that there isn't enough, I choose to just be okay with that. Let it rest. Just experience it without trying to make it go away and know that I'm okay anyway. Even though I have this very strong feeling of there isn't enough, I deeply and completely love and accept all of me, with or without the feeling. Even though I have this feeling that there isn't enough, that I know I'm reacting to in all kinds of ways, I'm okay. I'll be okay. And I know I can get through this too. There isn't enough. There isn't enough. This feeling that there isn't enough. This belief that there isn't enough. 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 There isn't enough what? Well, there isn't enough time. There isn't enough pleasure. There isn't enough downtime. There isn't enough me time. Sometimes I feel like I'm being pulled apart. I just don't understand it when people say they're bored and don't know what to do. There are so many things that I want to do. And there isn't enough time. There isn't enough energy. I don't get to do any of the things I want the way I want or for how long I want and still be able to do them all. And I don't want to choose. I want it all. And there isn't enough time. Some days I feel that there isn't enough money. And I know from law of attraction that that thought is not a good one. That if I really believe that, that's the situation I'm going to attract into my life. On a deeper level, I know that there's abundance, but I don't always know how to tap into it. So I still end up sometimes feeling like there isn't enough money. And once again, then I have to make choices I don't want to make. I have to decide what to spend it on. And I don't want to limit myself. I want it all. I don't always feel like there's enough of me. Not enough to go around. Not enough to take care of all of the people and projects and causes that I really am passionate about. So then again, I have to make choices. I have to decide where I'm going to put my time and energy when I'd really like to put it in lots of different places. And those decisions are hard for me. And as we know, I often worry that there isn't enough food. And I wish I was worrying about whether there was enough food for people who are starving. Because I'm obviously not starving. But I still feel like there isn't enough. And that I have to make choices. I have to make choices about what and when I'm going to eat. I have to make choices about whether I'm going to eat for nutrition, or eat for pleasure, or eat for weight management, or attend to my allergy issues, or eat alone, which is the easiest, or eat with others, which is very difficult because of my allergies, or eat at home, which is the easiest. Or eat out, where I might get to try some really new and delicious things and not have to clean up. So it just doesn't feel like there's enough. I'd like to say that I'm open to clarity about this. And perhaps part of me means it. But I just want it to be over. I want there to be enough. I want there to be enough of everything. Enough time, enough of me, enough food, and enough money. Now, because this is really churning up some emotions for me, and I'm also feeling a bit of resistance, we're going to do the 9 gamut. Now, if you haven't seen it, in another video. Let me just warn you, this looks really goofy, but it works so well. So I'm going to start tapping right here between these two knuckles on the back of my hand. You might not be able to see it very well in the video, so I'm just going to show you where, and then I'm going to put my hand down. All right. So I'm going to close my eyes, open them, look hard down to the right, look hard down to the left, roll my eyes in a circle, roll them the other way. I'm going to hum. Count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to check in. Still feeling pretty churned up about it, but feeling a little better, a little less resistance, which is really the reason why I wanted to do it. So I'm going to go back to, there's not enough. But I choose to remain peaceful and calm. There's not enough. I choose to allow my choices to be easier. There's not enough. But I choose to see abundance everywhere I look. There's not enough. I choose to focus on making it be enough, allowing it to be enough, recognizing when it is enough, focusing on the moment rather than worrying about whether there's going to be more or enough in an hour or in a day or in a week. I choose to believe that I am enough. And even though the decisions are uncomfortable, I choose to trust in my ability to make them. There is enough time. But I could learn to use it better. There is enough money. I could choose to be a wiser steward of my money. I am enough. And I choose to relax into that thought. There is enough food. And I choose to use it to nurture my body. Well, that was a pretty good tapping for me. I hope it was a good tapping for you. We'll see where it goes. I know I told you last time that I was going to set up some rules so that I would do tapping before I ate every time I ate today. I confess I didn't do it, but I was more aware of when I ate, and I didn't really feel like I needed the rules or that I was compelled for overeating, so I didn't have to engage it. I intend to keep trying to do that if I need to. You know, I have another meal coming in about a half an hour now, and so if I'm feeling out of control, I will tap. I hope to return to this tapping a few more times too and see what other insights come up. So until next time, happy tapping!